Hello, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Deidre Reigel Hope and Healing Radio Show. This is no ordinary podcast. This production has heart and soul, healing and wisdom, artists and authors. Deidre has spent her entire life promoting people, projects, and products that further hope and healing. She has also been a positive force in the entertainment industry as a vocalist, performer, musician, composer, conductor, author, and healer. You will be in good hands spending this time with her and her guests as they will guide you into another space where you can relax and feel their positive energy. Thank you for joining us. And now, here is the amazing Deidre Reigel with her special guest.
We are now at part 3 of the New Beginnings series, and I am so excited today to have on this show Michael Weinstein. And so let me just give a little brief talk about Michael before we engage in our conversation. He is the founder of the group Resolve to Evolve 2020. He brings to the table a lifetime of experience in diverse living and circumstances, and now he is devoting his entire life, his entire being, to ushering in this, what I call the new earth, and to really be present with what is happening on the planet. And of course, we're going to be talking about new beginnings today. Michael, welcome to the show today.
Deidre, it is a pleasure, my dear, an honor and a blessing to be able to share some more energy with you. There's
Absolutely.
a lot going on. Oh, boy.
Absolutely. At the top of our interview, Michael, would you be so kind as to tell people how they can connect with you?
The easiest way would be through my Facebook page, my normal Facebook page. I do have the Facebook group that you mentioned, the Resolve to Evolve, and it's RESOLVE with the number 2. EVOLVE, and then 2020. I'll send the link over to you so we can actually add it.
Yes, of course. It'll appear in our visuals as well, but that is Resolve
Beautiful.
2 with a number 2,
right.
Evolve 2020, and the 2020, of course, is spelled out. So, Michael, so much has changed since the last time you were on this podcast. So much has changed in our world. It feels like I'm even having trouble expressing it. It feels like something is dying and something is new is happening. Something very different is forming. Michael, what's your take on what's going on?
Well, there's so much that we could touch on. Let's just touch on the big picture and understand, accept, and honor and embrace the unbelievable change, the growth and expansion that's going on with the planet and with all of her creation, for heaven's sakes. The people are the big thing, but it's touching everything on this planet. And we're seeing it, Deidre, we're feeling it, we're hearing it, we're reading it. You don't have to go anywhere. I mean, where do you want to go with this? This crazy virus situation, the social unrest, the racial inequality situations. The truth has just gotten to be completely exposed. And this is a direct result of the energies that we have on this planet now that are at a point they have never, ever been at in 4 billion years, for heaven's sakes.
Yeah.
Pretty big deal.
Yeah. I agree. There is so much that is going on right now on so many levels. I think a lot of people are focusing on the COVID-19 epidemic or pandemic, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I know in my own world that even if you know nothing else about what is going on in the world beyond the COVID-19, that alone is life-changing for everyone. And then if you know beyond that what is happening behind the scenes and really, quite frankly, in front of our very eyes, it is almost overwhelming. And I would like to ask you then, if I may, how is this affecting you in your personal and professional life, Michael?
Well, I always look at things as opportunities. And there's always two perspectives, Deidre, to everything.
Yes.
And that's a direct result of the dualistic environment that this planet is. But everything has two perspectives, and they're diametrically opposed, for heaven's sake. Let's just be honest about it. What it's done for me is create huge opportunity with people, with the coaching that I do, with the business consulting that I've been doing for so many years, and with the new things that I'm bringing online. Like you mentioned, I am going to get into this thing deep and devote all of my energies to providing services to people that are open to receive. And I'm talking about life path coaching. I'm talking about business consulting. I'm talking about primarily online entrepreneurship businesses. I'm talking about small groups, big groups. I'm talking about just allowing people, Deidre, to become the very best versions of themselves that they possibly can with the least amount of effort and pain. It's a tough time right now. There's a lot of questions, a lot of concerns, a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, a lot of separation, for heaven's sakes. And these are the feelings and the emotions that have driven this planet for thousands of years, for heaven's sake. You know this. A lot of people know this. And for the first time, we're right in the middle of it. I mean, all of the systems that we have on this planet are coming down.
Yes.
Every institution that we know of is blowing up. Okay, so I've labeled this the destruction phase, and it's going to accelerate even more as we get closer towards the end of this particular calendar year. And then we're going to jump into a cleanup phase, and then we're going to have to jump into, for heaven's sakes, a complete rebuilding phase. So it's a huge understatement to say there's a lot going on. There's never been this much activity. There's never been this much change.
I'm sitting here in California,
right,
nodding my head with you,
yeah,
and saying to myself, and I'm going to share it with you and our listeners, I agree there has never been a time quite like this in our history where we've had the technology to distribute information this rapidly. And that makes, I think, more exponential energy happening. You spoke about becoming the best version of ourselves we possibly can be without having to drag ourselves through pain and difficulty anymore. And this in itself is huge because I think we've been presented with a view of life that you have to struggle and work hard and hope to get the best out of life and retire, get sick and die, and not ever really be able to enjoy your life. And I think intrinsically we all know something is very wrong with that scenario. I agree with you. We are in what could effectively be called a destruction phase. We are watching everything that we've held near and dear that has helped us construct what we have called our lives just fade away, disintegrate in front of our very eyes. And we have to come up with something new. And I believe this is where someone like yourself is doing such an important work, showing up with everything you have to create new beginnings and help other people understand what is really going on and how they can navigate these waters. Yeah. And Michael, for that, I consider it such a privilege for you to be on this show and to provide a platform for you to offer yourself and your services so wonderfully. So that said, if I understand correctly, your Resolve to Evolve 2020 organization or group has made a recent big step forward. Do you mind to share with us?
Yeah, I just now, actually it was official formation-wise in the end of April, and I just picked up my IRS 501c3 tax-exempt status. I started a nonprofit, Deidre.
Yes.
And it's called Our Connections. The website, I think might have finished it last night. But, there's always little tweaks, it's like the newborn. You want to wipe something else off that you think, the whole deal. But It's been such a beautiful, beautiful creative process. The actual web address is ourconnections.org. And it's strictly an informational website with access to a donation port that will allow me to collect tax-exempt donations and also collect the names and contact information of people that can benefit from the services that we're going to offer.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it's my way of giving back, you know, and like you mentioned, I've been so blessed with so much vast and varied life experience,
Yes.
and wonderfully blessed in the spiritual aspect. The physical aspect, I've been incredibly blessed with my fitness background, my nutrition background. So yeah, it's been epic. It's really been epic, and it's easy for me. It's one of those gifts that I've always had, dealing with people and being able to identify the opportunities that are available. Nothing to me is a problem. It's all an opportunity, and it's been a wonderful way to approach things. It allows me to be completely solution based, Deidre,
Yes.
and the results have been, I mean, epic. I'll just use that wonderful word. They've been epic.
This
And
is one of the things that I love about sharing time with you, Michael, and actually to tell our audience why and how you ended up on my podcast to begin with. And this, of course, is your second time. And what drew me to invite you to be on the show months ago was the postings that you have on Facebook, utilizing technology in a wonderfully positive way. And every day I would read those posts of yours and I would find them so uplifting, so encouraging. Your videos are just full of the power of positivity, the joy of life. And I think this is so very needed. And that, as I say, is one of the things that attracted me to invite you to be on the show. And Michael, I think we all need what you're offering. And now you're coming along with ourconnections.org, which is an information website, as you said. And let me tell you, we are all going to need as much information as we can to navigate these unknown waters.
yeah, but the biggest part of that, Deidre, we're going to be offering, you know, pro bono. It's all no charge. We're providing the services, and I'll take care of the nonprofit's going to take care of the abundance side of it with the rest of the providers. But we'll be doing energetic healings. We'll be doing business consulting, primarily online entrepreneurial stuff, and life path coaching, and any other kind of related coachings that have to do with personal improvement, for heaven's sakes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful. How utterly wonderful. Congratulations, Michael, on getting this far. It's a wonderful resource that you're providing for people. And I have a feeling you're going to continue to keep evolving yourself and things that you're offering. And of course, I know you're doing this from your heart. And that is a huge, it's just a huge gift that you're offering from your heart. And I want to let people know that. So, Michael, coming back to zooming out, I should say, to the bigger picture here, how can each of us individually and as a group support the new beginnings that are forming?
The key, and there's a wonderfully simplistic way to look at all of this. It used to be so much work, Deidre. You know, you've been through it. I've been through it years and years and years ago. With the lower vibrational energies, it was a ridiculous amount of work, a ridiculous amount of pain, and the results just took months and years to see anything. And now with these energies being so high, everything is streamlined, everything is accelerated to the point where it's happening, for heaven's sakes, in the blink of an eye. Our manifestations now are instantaneous, as is the feedback that we're seeing now from all of those things that we're doing. It's right straight in front of us right now. It's laying out in the open. So what I would recommend, and this is what I talk to people about every day, all week, is raising that vibration. What can we do as an individual to get that vibration up. And there's some really simple stuff. The biggest part I would tell people to start with is your intentions. The intentions right now that we have, that we create, that we possess, are the fuse that lights this whole thing up. And then we've got to pay attention to the words and the thoughts, obviously, keep them positive, because with energy, as most people should know, what we put out comes back to us. So, it's not rocket science. I keep saying that, but it's not. And we shouldn't make it that. In fact, the simpler, the better. And the things that we consume, now we talk about consumption, we can talk about the food we eat, the beverages that we drink, and we can also talk about the energies that we consume, whether it's in the things that we are watching, television for heaven's sakes, what we're reading, what we're listening to with music for heaven's sakes. I mean, the vibration from that is a big deal. Keeping things in our environment, in our home, in our sacred space that will evoke feelings of happiness and joy, make a huge difference, Deidre. Getting out in nature. Woo! There's a biggie, right?
I
Drowning.
agree.
Getting those little piggies in the dirt. Get your hands in the dirt, for heaven's sakes. It's so incredibly simple and makes such a profound difference. And then as our vibration raises, the collective vibration raises, and the planet's vibration raises, and the dominoes keep falling all the way out. The whole universe is going to be affected by what's going on this planet.
Well, this is one of the things that you and I spoke about, including in our conversation today, how what each of us as an individual is doing affects not just ourselves, but exponentially, like the pebble in the pond, moves outward and outward and outward to our neighborhood, our state, our country, our planet, and quite frankly, way beyond our planet through our solar system, just by the scientific nature of energy. I mean, really scientifically understanding that energy is alive, and we as individual powerful creators are affecting how that energy moves. And I think we're coming into a new period, see if you agree with this, where we are understanding the privilege of taking personal responsibility for our thoughts, actions, the life that we create, and realizing how it impacts not just us, but everyone else. And instead of it being, oh, you've got to take responsibility for your life, and feeling very awkward about it, I think
Right.
what we're doing now is realizing that it's a complete privilege to be a creator of our own lives, and that as we shed these old systems that wanted to tell us that we weren't good enough or something was wrong with us or whatever that story was that was limiting, we are now free to move about the cabin, so to speak. We're free to see the greatness that we are as individuals and multiply that greatness in our own lives, and then exponentially send it out to the world and beyond.
Absolutely.
And I agree with you, Michael. This is the big picture.
Yeah.
Can you say more about that from your perspective?
Well, the other thing, we still have a lot of misinformation flying around. And when I talk about misinformation, I talk about, unfortunately, there's still a lot of, what we call the old paradigm energies, the old paradigm thoughts and ideas. And it's really, once again, it's wonderfully simple. It can be as simple as waking up with a smile on your face in the morning, for heaven's sakes. It can be as simple, and that's what I love talking about. I've got 3 things that I always touch with people, primarily in my videos, but it's sharing a smile, touching other hearts, and making a difference today. They're just wonderful little actions that we can do that are life altering for those that are around us. And this is what makes a huge difference on the planet and with those people that are near to us and dear to us. And we ramp it up a little bit and we start getting involved with the technology that you mentioned and the social media. We touch everybody in every corner of the planet. I talk to people all over the world every single day. And it's unbelievably
So
fulfilling.
exciting. Oh,
Oh,
so exciting, Michael.
yeah.
So coming back to your ourconnections.org,
Mm-hmm.
how can people who are just now beginning to see something's going on here, I don't know what this is, but it's very different, be better prepared to enjoy a smoother transition as they raise their vibrations, they come online, they know they have to change their lives? What can these people do, Michael?
Well, it's, I'll tell you, I do a lot of work, and I've got a lot of people that I know to do a lot of work, and it's just basic, communication. That's what it's all about. This is why I started the nonprofit, because there's so much, once again, there's so much opportunity, and there's so many people right now that are coming online that are confused. They don't know
Yes.
what to do. They don't know what they're supposed to be. There's a void, so to speak, in between the old world and the new world, or these new beginnings that we're talking about. And the website is set up to leave information and answer a couple of questions so we can get back to you and assist you on your journey. It's wonderfully simple. Reach out to me on Facebook. I'm good to go. Believe me, I am really good to go. Touch the group. You can jump on there anytime. And there's a lot of wonderful interaction that we have. It's a beautiful, loving, supportive family. I mean, you there, Deidre, you know what it's all about.
Well, you've created a loving and very safe environment, and this goes for all of us, myself included. We're all in this together. Just, whatever rung of a ladder we feel we may be on, it's nice to be able to reach to another rung and help somebody up, or it's nice to be able to reach up the ladder and be helped up. And I think what you've done is create a very safe environment where we're all learning and growing from each other. And that, Michael, is brilliant. And that's the new earth, where we are collaborating with each other. And that's where I get really excited, as you well know.
Oh, it's beautiful. And that's what it's all about. The new model is circular, Deidre. The hierarchy is gone. Every new system we'll set up will be operating on a circular
That's right.
pattern. It's just like what we're going to see with. In fact, one of the things I want to get involved with here down the road, it will be going around and setting up community centers, meeting
Wow.
places, points of
Wow.
collaboration. Yeah. We've got to get back to being social, and what I call it pressing the flesh, but that's the whole thing. We're social beings. We need to have social interaction.
I agree. And of course, we're living with the COVID-19 now, which is actually interfering with our ability to socially interact. And of course,
Absolutely.
I think kudos to many of us. We're finding other ways of circumventing that to remain human beings and to continue to elevate ourselves. And I think what you're doing here, Michael, again, is so phenomenal and so remarkable and so very much needed. Do you have any final words of encouragement, comfort, or advice that you'd like to offer at this point?
Wow. Yeah, I really would. And first of all, it starts with ourselves, and it starts within ourselves. And this whole thing goes when we love ourselves. If we have to have that self-love and that compassion and that understanding for who we are and what we are. And also to understand that we are here just to assist a planet in her evolution and thereby assisting others in theirs, and also, for heaven's sakes, assisting the universe. So keep that in mind. Another thing to remember, and this is a biggie, is we exist in an infinite universe with an infinite number of souls. And I love it on this because this really brings it back into perspective. There's only not even 8 billion of us on this planet, for heaven's sakes. That's like a grain of sand in the desert. It's nothing in the scheme of things. So understanding that what we are going through here on this planet is the biggest event in the history of creation, well, then ask yourself a question. What am I doing here? You wouldn't be here. None of us would be here unless we had the universal resume, unless we had the wisdom, unless we were all master creators and powerful beyond our wildest imagination. So, with all that being said, be gentle, pat yourself on the back, and just love your brothers and sisters, for heaven's sakes. That's what it's all about.
Very wise words, Michael. Thank you for sharing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to connect with Michael, again, he's on Facebook at Resolve to Evolve 2020. That is RESOLVE, the number 2, Evolve 2020, and the words 2020 are actually spelled out. His new group coming online is ourconnections.org. That's ourconnections.org. And I believe that website is up and ready to run. Michael, again, I thank you for taking time from what I know is a very full day for you, as are all your days, and sharing so freely of yourself and your wisdom with us. I bless you and I honor you, my friend. Thank you so much.
Oh, Deidre, my heart is huge and full of love, and you're doing things that I wish more were doing, and I am unbelievably grateful for all of your efforts and wonderful energies, dear. It's incredible what you're doing. And let's just leave everybody with one last little thought, right? Together forever.
Oh, wonderful. I love that. What a way for us to conclude our interview, together forever. Michael, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. See you next time, and take good care of you in between now and then.
The views and opinions expressed by our guests are not necessarily those of this podcast, nor is any content intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any illness of any kind, or substitute for proper professional care in this regard. We sincerely hope you have enjoyed today's show. If you're not already a subscriber, please click on the link and join our ever-growing community of goodwill. If you would like to be a guest on our show, please contact us at drhoperadio@gmail.com. That's drhoperadio@gmail.com. All of us here at the Deidre Reigel Hope and Healing Radio Show wish you a day filled with hope and joy. Till next time, namaste.